Hey man, what it is? I am your host. This is Deem, and this is By Any Means. And today I got a good one for you, y'all. There go the Cash App. If your heart tells you to do so, man, I appreciate you. Send $1, $2, $3, $5, $500. It doesn't matter. I truly appreciate the support and everybody that rock with me. I want to talk about my guy, my one of my favorite fighters, one of the most dangerous fighters in today's sport, the upcoming superstar, Puerto Rican superstar, Xander Zayas, aka Wolverine. And reason why I call him that, y'all, this boy has a lot of attributes that you need to be a successful, exciting fighter in boxing to get your name out there. Um, Xander Zayas, I seen him against Fortua. I seen him against, Robert Valenzuela. I saw him fight against Ronald Cruz. Oh my God, what he did to Ronald Cruz was so nasty. Um, that boy really deserves his credit. Against Alicia Estrada, I saw that fight also. So I'm just very, very impressed with this young man. When he was fighting for Tua and when he was fighting Cruz, man, just the way that he attacks you, man, he doesn't stop. And that's the reason why I call him Wolverine. He goes straight into the fire. When I watch him fight, y'all ever play with Wolverine or Marvel versus Capcom, and he able to do that slashing move where he slash you up 1,000 times and then he bounce right back off you and get back away from you in a different position. That's Xander Zayas. Every time I see him punching on somebody, I just see them Wolverine slashes on Marvel versus Capcom, y'all. And that's why I gave him that nickname, man, the Wolverine, man, because he's just all aggression, right in the fire, good footwork. Him and David Morrell, I think, are very, very similar in how I feel about them and boxing styles. And then the one thing that I think Xander Zayas is a little worse at than David Morrell is if you have a good jab, you could put that jab on Xander Zayas. He's susceptible to that. And I think there's something that he actually needs to work on, but I think he will. I think he's going to get better at that, at getting his head movement. Sometimes he keeps his head on that line. And somebody that is an experienced fighter that got some good box game, somebody like a Terrence Crawford that's going to 154, would definitely be able to expose that. And have him looking silly in certain ways. So I just think that but I think it would take a fighter like a Terrence Crawford to beat a Xander Zayas. And it ain't too many Terrence Crawfords walking around here. Um, this young man from Puerto Rico, the Wolverine, man, he's just in and out, constant pressure. It's just he's breaking you down, but he sits on his punches. So not only while he's breaking you down, where he gives you no room to get out of trouble. Where you think that the onslaught is going to stop, but it doesn't. That's why I call him Wolverine. Y'all all know Wolverine got them healing powers. Soon as you think that he done or you got him, what do he do, y'all? He heal right back up and he pops up like it's about nothing. Xander Zayas is mean. He has that same type of attitude as a Wolverine. And I just really think that this guy is going to be one of the new superstars in boxing. Um, with the David Morrells, Jerron Ennis, people like that. I'm really high on this young man. I like what he's doing. He's closing fights out very quickly. Um, he doesn't play with his food. He has great control and distance and range. That's another thing that he's very good at. Um, Getting full extension on his punches. A lot of boxers throw a lot of rabbit punches, and there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of phantom punches, but Xander Zayas does a great job at getting full extension on his jab, on his straights, on his body shots. When he was fighting for Tua, that's why he was able to drop him twice because he was getting full extensions on those left hooks to the body, full extension on them. And when you hit somebody in their liver and you twist them hips, let me tell y'all, if with his power, with that speed, with that size, you gonna feel it and go to that ground. He hit Ronald Cruz with one of the meanest right hands I seen in a long time. And it was funny because Ronald Cruz threw out a jab and his jab blinded him from Xander Zayas' right hand that was coming over the top. And it just laid him down. I mean, it was just like he threw a punch out. The punch was coming right back at him. By the time he had a chance to see it coming, he realized it was coming, but it was nothing he could do about it. He was on the mat. What he did to Venezuela, nasty. Jump right on him, and that's why I call him Wolverine. Y'all know what Wolverine used to do. You run screaming right into the fort against all the enemies and everything, and that's Xander man. Constant pressure. He's very consistent in what he was trying to accomplish. He's very consistent in his game plan. He doesn't take rounds off, and he has a pretty good gas tank. Do I think his gas tank could be even better? Yes, because of the way he fights, but it's kind of hard to argue with a guy that's throwing the amount of punches around that he throws. Like I said, man, it's like playing with Wolverine or Marvel vs. Capcom, and you keep doing the slashing move over and over again. They just can't stop it. And that's what I see when I see him throwing punches, when I see him going out there dominating his opposition. A lot of guys, it ain't been too many that have been able to stand up to what he's putting out there. And in my opinion, he's facing some pretty good competition at the level that he's at while doing it. Fatua is not no slouch. Cruz wasn't no slouch. Venezuela, that's not no slouch. So it's like I gotta get a young man credit. And he's so young. I think he only 21, 22. And I just want him to keep going up in the division. I think that in that division, he has to be the top prospect. He's by far. I think I would love to see him versus a Timzu. I think he's ready for a Timzu. I think he would beat a Timzu. Um, And like I said, when it comes to guys like that, man, we just got to start giving these guys the proper credit and start talking about the new talent that is in boxing, man. The Xander Zayas, Duran Ennis, David Morrell, Raymond Matalas. These are the people that I truly feel as though are going to uplift the sport, are guys that we're going to be talking about years to come, because we need this in boxing, especially with Amazon making these deals, and Javante Davis and the Devin Haney's and all of these things. We need these type of fighters. We need other fighters coming behind them to keep the sport being exciting and having great cards and great undercards and building other fighters up. And I think that we got to strike while the iron's hot. It's a lot of eyes on boxing right now. And I feel as though guys like Xander Zayas can definitely help move this sport forward. So that's why you're going to hear me talk about him. And I just think he deserves to be talked about when you talking about new talent in this sport. Young Wolverine, man, he doesn't back down from nothing, and that's something that I love. I love the way he fights. Anybody who knows me in my real life know, if you watch Xander Zayas, people that know me, I fight similar to a Xander Zayas when I'm in pressure and things like that. Defense is a lot better than that. I mean, not comparing myself to an actual boxer, but compared to somebody on the street, I'm a very good defensive fighter. But I just love the constant pressure that he puts on his opponents, man. He has a great jab. His effective aggression and hard and accurate punching is just through the roof. And when somebody has that, and he has great ring generalship because he has good footwork, he's not flat-footed. He bounces in and out. He don't just stay there. Now, can he get better head movement? I think he definitely can get better head movement. I think that's the main thing he needs to work on to up his game. But as far as his feet, as far as him moving his body, he will do that. And that makes him ultra dangerous. He got power in both hands. He will knock you out with either hand. It does not matter. And he's very accurate with his punching. So guys like that are just guys that I actually want to see start getting big fights. I'm tired of waiting on I'm tired of waiting for all these big fights that we keep saying that we want, and then we wonder why the sport ain't going forward because we're not talking about the Raymond Matalas, the Xander Zayas, the David Morrells. These are the guys that we need to be talking about. The Abdullah Masons. These are the guys that we need to be sitting up here talking about to keep this sport going forward. And like I said, man, his fighting style is so similar. If you watch Wolverine, if you know anything about Marvel characters, his fighting style is so similar to that. And a lot of y'all are going to laugh when you see him. If you see him fight or you know of him fighting, um, would know how much of a great comparison that is. I mean, just a pure slasher, just a pure killer. He's coming in there to destroy. He's not backing down. Um, he's very focused in there. And that's one of the other things that I love about a young fighter like that. For him to be so young, for him to be as accurate as he is and as focused on what he's trying to accomplish in the ring, I just think that you have to put another notch in his belt because of that, because he's only 21, 22 years old. So where is his IQ and his boxing ability and skills going to be at when he's 25, 26 years old? And he's probably going to dominate the 160 division and go up maybe to 168. I don't know if he's big enough to go to 168. I got to see how his body will hold on to a 160. But Xander Zayas, man, one of the new up and coming superstars in this sport of boxing, and just somebody that I really want to show that I'm a big fan of. I think that I think that he's coming to take over the sport. I think that anybody that goes to that 154 division, Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, they're gonna have a lot on their hands dealing with that young man. That is not an easy fight. Jerron Ennis. I think Jerron Ennis and Terrence Crawford is his biggest nightmares. I will say that because I think that they are two guys that could expose what I was telling y'all earlier about him keeping his head on the line sometimes. And they aren't the guys that you want to keep your head on the line against. I mean, I'm just saying. But I think that he would give a lot of people a lot of problems at the division. And I think that like I think Xander Zayas could beat a Jamel Charlo. I think he could beat a Brian Mendoza. Um, I think he could beat a Tim Zoo. So that I just think very highly of the young man. And he may get that Tim Zoo fight. I would love to see him against Erickson Lubin. I would love to see that fight. Because I think that's another fight that he's more than capable of winning. And he's ranked high in a lot of these sanctioning bodies. So I would just like to see him get his just due. You know, him and a Virgil Ortiz, um, a lot of different guys he could fight. Josh Kelly, a lot of different guys he could fight, but I really don't see none of them beating him. I think his biggest competition hasn't even officially got to the division yet. So y'all know what this is, man. Deem by any means. Holla at me. There go the Cash App. Y'all already know. Get with your boy. Y'all be safe.